What's going on, everybody? Hello, hello, hello. We got one in the room. Oh, we got zero. Good evening. Hopefully everybody will start coming in here in a minute. Mr. Will, what is going on, brother? Glad to have you in here this evening. It's another Monday night here at the house. I gotta get situated. Sore today. Yeah, we got a couple starting to come in the room now. Hello to everyone. We'll get a couple more going and we'll get this show started. See, Mr. Will, I got your models sitting over here now. Let's see, Mr. Will's asking, so what's the story on the wheels for Slaghammer? Well, the wheels on Slaghammer is originally the wheels we had ordered are on back order. They will not be shipped out until July 25th. So Tony had a set of 10-inch slot mags at the house, and the offset is more out towards outside the car versus what the drag lights were. So that's kind of the story on the wheels at the moment. Let's see. Daddy's Money Garage is in. It says, I need a green Magnum block keychain for the Jet, right? Well, if you want, you can go to stillplayingwithblocks.com. Hendrick, what's going on, brother? But long story short, on the wheels that we ordered weren't going to come in. These are the wheels that he had. I do have some feelers out, and if things don't work out quite right, then we might be going with those, but we'll see what happens. Mike, what is going on, man? He says, yeah, the wide mag made the front look good, right? It all depends which way you look at the vehicle. Tony and I were talking about yesterday that we probably could have went with a bigger tire in the back. That's a 275/60 R15. Probably could have went with like a 295/50. But the good thing is, those are only going to be ran for the power tour and a couple local events, and that's it. And then hopefully we'll get the right rims here in July and see how it goes. I am going to try to find some drag lights to put on the back for the slicks. And Mike says it looks like a Street Freak. Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. Well, let's see. We got about 12 people in the room right now. So we'll go ahead and get things rolling. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Live. I'm Mopar. We've already got some people in the room right now. We got Mr. Will's Dying Breed Garage. Go check him out. He's got some good stuff on there. He did a cold start on his Charger. I guess he's ready to get it out for the spring and summer. Go check his channel out. Give him a like, subscribe. He's in the No Name 500 right now. So let's show some support to him. Let's see. How you doing, Gerald? Gerald Lewis says, are you running a stock cam in that 383? No, we are not. But there's a lot of people out here right now that are doing the no name, and a lot of good channels out there. But I'm starting me a little collection now. We got Mr. Will. He sent me some stickers, and by the way, your sticker is in my back seat of my Charger. I still got to get it out and cut it down and get it on the trunk lid of the car. But he also sent me the Starsky and Hutch for Torito, which I'm really digging. And then, of course, a guy with a company called Still Playing with Blocks made us the 440 RV block. And I thought that was pretty cool. And I got my little collection there of Mopars. I got my Chargers sitting on top and stuff like that. Mopar Man, 1978. What's going on, brother? But I was at the shop today, did a little bit more painting on Slaghammer at 0. What is going on? The Axeman himself is in the house. Did some more painting today. Took the wheels back off the car. Tony took them back to the tire shop. We're getting the new tires for the front put on. When he had the tires mounted the other day on the slots, they forgot to put new valve stems in it, and they were leaking, so those are getting taken care of. Roger, what's going on, man? He says he won't be able to get to stay long. Always busy. I hear you, brother. And so hopefully he's got those back this evening. And I can get them back on the car tomorrow. The motor is done as far as being put together. I mean, we got a few parts left on it, like the water pump and stuff like that. I'm getting ready to start on the transmission. So this weekend, the motor and tranny will be going back in the car and possibly a fire up. So fingers crossed. We got the rest of the parts ordered today we're going to need, and everything was supposedly in stock. So we should be able to receive the rest of the stuff by the end of this week. So we're getting close. Let's see, what all did we order? We ordered the exhaust port today, the collectors, flanges, spark plug wires, the harness for the car, seatbelt harness. What else did we get? Velocity stacks for the carbs. So all that's supposed to be in by the end of this week. And then somebody has sent us a care package with some Champion spark plugs for the motor, but I appreciate whoever did that. So now we got an extra set. Mike's asking, how much nitrous are you running on Slackhammer? I am not. That's going to be an NA motor. That 383 is for the power tour, for reliability. And then after that, we'll see where we go with the 383. Of course, there's going to be a second motor for Slaghammer for the No Name Nationals. So after we're done with the power tour and then some local events and stuff like that, I'll take it on. And then once we get finished with all that stuff and start preparing for No Names, and that motor will be pulled out. Let's see, Mopar Man 97.8, not much more rain. Right, I hear you. It was raining a little bit off and on, but haven't been too bad here. And he says, movie Fistful of Dollars is on TV. I haven't watched that movie in years. What's going on? You can't be serious. He sit there and said, you really rubbed on out with that grill on Slacker. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. All I got to do now is polish it up. And I sit there and was hoping we had another Plymouth emblem so I can put on the grill. I couldn't find one. So I think I'm going to talk with the lady over, Amber over at Awnings Plus, and see if she can make me like a little decal thing to go on the front of the grill, and see what I can come up with all that. You can't be serious, says grill shines. It does, man. It had that real gold funky tint to it from where it sat outside for years. Danny, what's going on? Awnings Plus, it's a sign and awning company in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. They do all my lettering. They're the ones who did my banner back here, and they're also doing some of the work for on Slaghammer, which I picked up some of it today, and you will probably see it on the car sometime this week or maybe this weekend. Let's see, at Zero said, between the two darts, hers and I spent 40 plus hours making the grill badass. Mine maybe 8. The difference is obvious. Oh, yeah, it all depends how much time you put into it. Mike Diesta said the 3.3 is going to make some jam. I hope so, brother. I hope so. I mean, especially with the spindle well headers and the exhaust is going to be underneath it. It ought to sound pretty good. Jared says when they're parked together, I feel ashamed. Oh man. Mike said I had a 383 in my 69 Super B. I wished I kept that one. Oh, I hear you. Well, I mean, this one here, I mean, it's a 383 HP, so we'll see how she does. Let's see. Mike said he had a Hemi R69 Super B. I sold it for $1,500 in the night. Dude, I hear you. It makes you sick these days what they're going for now. But welcome everybody tonight. Let's see. We got 26 in the room right now. Shout out once again to Mr. Will. We got Daddy in the house. We got Mopar Man 1978. We got Zero the Axeman. Mike Batiza is in the house. And you can't be serious, 03. I appreciate everybody being in here this evening. But yeah, I can't wait to get behind the wheel of this thing, start shaking her down here. Hopefully, sometime middle of next week, I'll be able to take it down the road and see what she's going to do. But we should have the tags for it. Uncle Tony and Kathy went and got that done. So Oh yeah, I'm ready. Mr. Will just asked me, Al, did you see that 69 Charger Hemi Daytona set a world record at Malcolm? Or let's see, or to make an auction this weekend, selling for, oh my God, $1,320,000. No, I did not. I've been busy wrenching, man. God, I can't believe it went for that much. Tell you what, man, the car market's crazy right now. I think a lot of us wish we kept some of our cars from back in the day. The Duckster is in the house. What's going on, brother? How you doing this evening? PC Turf 2 says more money than brains, right? Duster says he's finer than frog hair. All right, brother. And the bad thing about it, a lot of these people that are buying these cars, man, they are just going basically in private collection. They're investment cars. Let's see. Mopar Band 1978 says it's crazy what my 65 Dart would go for in its current state up on the blocks. Oh, I know, man. I mean, it's stupid crazy right now. You know, another thing about it is too now that the more popular cars are starting to come out of reach for a lot of people, so the less popular cars are now starting to go up in value as well. Roger, what's going on, brother? Roger Bagwell says, wish I still had my 69 427 Corvette. But yeah, I mean, stuff that you figure would not be worth much. Oh man, I mean, it's just skyrocket all over the place. Duster says no one bats an eyelash at my Project D150 behind the garage. That's a good thing, right? I mean, even the trucks have gone up in price, man. Max Wedge, what is going on, brother? Glad to have you this evening. We got Reed Mopar dude in the house now. Everybody's starting to fill the way in. But even my Ram Charger I had years ago, man, like we talked before. I mean, I paid next to nothing for it, and what those things are going for now is just stupid. I mean, even the lesser known, I mean, it's like, you know, the 65, 66, 67, you know, Barracudas now are like going up in value. Danny Boy says, I'll let my roach like over 15,000. I know what I have. And I mean, I tell you what, I mean, that's how everybody's mindset is right now on that. You know, this is what I want for it. I know what I've got, and it can be like a pile of what's left of a car of rust in your hands, and they're wanting 8 grand for it. I mean, the market's crazy, man. There was a friend of mine the other day posted something on Facebook. He had someone had posted on the marketplace. I think it was a 68 or a 69 Charger, and it was going to need a full restoration and stuff. But he had it on there for like $8,900, and it was like gone in 10 minutes. Mopar Man 1970 says, I will never sell it. It has too much sentimental value. I inherited men's diamond ring from a 97 graduation gift on my great uncle. I traded the ring for the price of the dart, $1,500 back in 2012. Roger's asking if anybody wants a 63 Studebaker Lark. Where's it at? I've seen a couple of guys building those lately. Ray says, my yard. Oh, cool. Roger, you just not wanting to mess with it, or you really wanting to get rid of it? Let's see, Mr. Will. I do have something going on that may come to fruition this week. I'm looking at a rust-free 80s Chevy van with GSX done and being sold next month. All right, A-Team van. Here we go. Let's see. Roger says it's a cash thing. Would like to build it, but have too much going on. Roger, you can send me an email. I'm getting ready to put it out here so you can email me about that car. Jimmy said, yes, I sold some parts to Sweden, guys. Really into the car scene. They are, man. You can make some money shipping some parts. I don't know how many of the Swedens over there, man. They buy all kinds of classic cars up. Let's see. PC Turb 2 says, my project is a 73 Duster with a 440, 727, 8 and 3/4 or 355 gears. There you go. Jimmy says they like our C-body Mopars. They did, man. They love those big cars, man. Mopar Man 1978 says, I think it'd be cool to see a Mopar version of the A-Team van. I also like the black Mopar van in the movie Old School. when they picked up Blue from the bus stop, right? So there you go, Mr. Will. If that van doesn't come up, you can always do a Dodge Tradesman or something and turn into an A-Team. Mr. Will asks, how are the dusters with the big blocks? I only drove a small block duster. I mean, they're kind of like anything else with a big block in it. The room's a little tight in them on the A bodies, but I mean, they can handle it. PC Turtle 2 says, Scott Speed Shop has a van they're fixing. Yeah, I'm digging that van. There you go. Mitch Will says he can do the Cannonball Run ambulance. There you go. Let's see. Zero said used to see the new A-Team van cruising around, Rampage driving it. I tell you what, man. When I saw that movie and that van got crushed, man, it was like, man. PC Turtle 2 says he's got to run. Appreciate it, brother. I hear you, man. We're all busy. Roger says he's got to take off too. Talk to me later. All right. I appreciate it, brother. But yeah, finally got the fuel pump finally came in today for the Astro van. So tomorrow I'm gonna start putting it back together. Of course, y'all have seen a couple videos on that with the rusted out fuel lines and stuff. And the pump itself was only putting out like 20 pounds. And for that van to even run, it needs at least 50. So we got the new fuel pump. It finally came in today. And got the fuel lines in the other day, which is a retrofit. They're a plastic line kit that replaces all the metal line. So you ain't got to worry about it rusting out. Let's see. Monkey Mad 1-2. What brand or type of black paint is on Slaghammer's frame? Restonium, rust, or let's see, was it? It's the Restonium enamel gloss black, and it's actually painted on there, not sprayed on there. Danny says, save the old fuel pump in case the new one's a dud. Well, I mean, the old fuel pump's not going to do anything for me. I mean, it's only pushing out 20 pounds. It won't even pop the injectors open. Jimmy says, I like the repair you did on the gas lines on the Astro. Otherwise, you have to go to an industrial rubber place and go with AN6 lines, right? Well, the good thing about that Astro van, and this is what I think the two repair shops that went to, nobody wanted to mess with it, is that you can get a full line kit for that van. There's a few companies out there to make it. You can go back to OEM style. They also have the retrofits. They also have like the kit I bought, which kind of replaces the steel lines going back to the tank. Unfinished project. What's going on, man? We got Henry's Hot Rod Garage now in the house. What's going on, Henry? Danny Boy says, wrap the Astro van in AstroTurf, right? Kevin Comanche, what's going on, brother? Hi, Al. Have you driven your son's car since the suspension upgrade, and what is your opinion? Dude, that thing rides great. I mean, it's tight. It'll hang a corner. There's no popping, no cracking. He still needs to go get an alignment on it, get everything realigned. He hasn't had time to do that yet, but we got it pretty close. He says it drives pretty straight. But man, it's working out great. The coilovers that we got from the donor 300 went in with no problems. We dropped the car down an inch and a half, and it's doing pretty good. Buff to Campo, what's going on, man? Does Restonium take a long time to dry? It depends on the weather, man. I know the primer, when it's warm out, it'll dry pretty quick. But I found out with the Restonium paint, once you paint it, leave it overnight, come back in the next morning, and it's pretty much dry. But I think it takes probably a good couple of days for it to really cure. Duxter says the good old tape measure alignment, it's good, takes lots of time, but it's good. Yeah, it takes some time. And I actually learned doing that when I was building 4x4s when I was a kid, putting mud tires on. Because back then, a lot of alignment shops wouldn't even touch it. So we had to use the tape measure method. Henry's Hot Rod Garage has said that he's got a camshaft giveaway. So he wants me to check it out. It was his last video he just put up. I'll have to check it up after the live here, brother. Daddy Boy says the trick to finding perfectly level spot to do the alignment. Yes. Mr. Will Diamond Garage says, Al, I love Ethan's 300. Imagine having the thin tail light like the 69 Imperial on that 300. The 300 would look really trick with tail lights. Like, oh, I hear you, man. He's got plans for this car, man. Zero says on the tape measure, I hold the stupid in. I hear you. But it definitely takes some time doing it that way. But yeah, he put all new, I mean, besides coilovers on it and the springs, he put all new moot parts in it, suspension parts, upper lowers, tie rod ends, stabilizer arms. So, I mean, that car is tight now. I got to do it to my Charger decks. But it's a fun car. He took it to the track Saturday night, did a few passes with it. He's still trying to figure out the shift points on it. Henry's Howard Gross says, can't wait to hear that Slackhammer fire. Me too, brother. I'm past ready, man. I want it done. But he did pretty good with the car. Like I say, he's still getting used to it. He ran 904s with it. Midnight Rods and Racing. Hello from Nova Scotia. What's going on, brother? Dexter just asked Zero, what's the highest off the ground you ever been on iron? Jimmy said, yep, I measured twice and still too short, right? Mr. Bill, what's going on, man? Glad you joined us. We got Biker Bob 59 in. What's going on, brother? We got Dean Brown that just hit the house. He said, just got home, figured I'd catch a quick live. Slackhammer's look good. Appreciate it, brother. Mr. Will says, definitely want to hear a slag run. I got excited starting my charger this weekend. I hear you, man. Yeah, I've been chomping out. Oh, God, what's it been now? Past 2 months, I wanted to hurry and get that thing fired up and running. But yeah, I'm gonna get the Astro van done this week. Get it out of my garage. I got a couple other things that are needing to come in. I'm gonna be busy for a couple weeks just working on cars on top of working on Slaghammer. Terrence, what's going on, brother? He said, he says he's been in the basement taking pictures of machine guns. There you go. Kevin Comanche says, well, don't let your son be like most of us and don't let that car go. He was after that car, oh God, 4 or 5 years, and the guy finally decided to sell it. And he said, but he would only sell it to Ethan because he'd been after him for 5 years. So that's the car he's wanted ever since he's been able to drive, and now he's got it, and now he's getting ready to spend some money on it. Midnight Rods and Racing says, getting ready to start on my 69 Charger RTSE after 10 years. Good deal, man. Jimmy, let's see. Jimmy Pest says, I like my 7318 car. No doubt 68 is my favorite year dart. I tell you what, a lot of cars in 68 were nice. Especially on the B bodies, man. I love the Coke bottle. Mr. Will says, I forgot to ask how your lung checkup went. Everything up? No, that's this Friday. It's on the 27th. I got to be there at 9 a.m. Danny Boyd says 68 is about my favorite year for cars, too. I mean, they are, man. I mean, they were just nice. 20 about 30 garage. What's going on, brother? Jimmy Pest says, I think I need another A body. I got a friend of mine. That's all he likes buying is A body stuff. And he's got a couple of E bodies, I think. Well, I know he's got one for sure. It was an old race car that they bought, but man, he has got a lot of A bodies, man. I think I lost count after about 35. Danny Boy, let's see. He says, I actually see like the 67 Cougar better than the 68, but I like the 68 Mustang better than the 67, right? Doug says, in the 300 game, I want a 300G or the Hearst 300. Those were sweet machines. I tell you what, man, they are. Terry, what's up, man? He said he found the like button. Appreciate it, brother. Jimmy Fed said he actually chased E-bodies but never found one for the right price. Dude, I hear you, man. I hear you. And the one e-body they got, it's a Barracuda that someone years and years and years ago turned it into a roundy round car. And they actually got a really good price. Now, what they're going to do with it, I have no idea, but it was kind of cool. But he's got a lot of stuff going on right now. He's working on, I think it's either six. Let's see what's he got. I think it's a 68 or a 69 Barracuda he picked up out of Florida. He got a really good deal on the body. It was already, all the metal work had been done on it. I've been primered, and his friend just didn't have the room to build another one, so he bought it, brought it back up here to Tennessee, took it to the body shop. They had to do just very, very, very little prep work and put a nice metallic green paint job on it. And so he's trying to get that car together. I can't wait for him to get it done. He's wanting to put a 340 down in it. Let's see. Henry's Hot Rod Garage says, love them all. Let's see, love them all. Their bodies are short, tall, blonde, red hair. Who cares if they are in a Mopar? I hear you. It's like me. That's everybody asks what my favorite one is. I really don't have a favorite. I like them all. I'm glad to see now that the Junkyard Jet guys are getting things together with their car now. Mr. Will says, I once passed on a 71 Challenger 343 speed in mint condition for 11K. That one still hurts. Oh, I bet. Danny Boy says you need to line up Slaghammer against the Junkyard Jets. You never know. We might do that at No Name Nationals. There's been quite a few people asking about that. But we'll see. We might just do a night out and go to the track for Saturday on a Saturday night and just go have fun. 20 by 30 Garage said he passed on a 73 Challenger 340 for 1,500 with no title. I actually had a neighbor that lived around the corner. He passed away a few years ago, and he had a 72 Challenger. It was banana yellow with a white top, and he was going to build it. He never did. It sat in the side yard, and I would at least go up to him once a month. I was like, come on, man, you're not going to build this thing. What do you want for it? And he says, Al, I'll tell you what. He says, if I decide to sell it, you'll be the first one to know. Well, I wasn't the first one to know because one day all of a sudden I saw a wrecker backing up in his yard, and he had two vehicles there. He had the Challenger, and he also had a 68 Dodge single cab long bed that was the same color. And the guy bought the truck, and he was supposed to come back to get the car. And the day he did it, I actually had a 07 Dodge Charger, silver 5.7 car, and I had just bought it to flip. I had to go in and redo the motor on it. It dropped the valve seat, and I saw it, and I ran down there. It's like, dude, I will trade you my Charger for that Challenger right now. So basically, I was going to trade him a running car that I was going to flip for that thing, and he wouldn't do it. Well, about 3 months later after that, he comes up to me, comes to, hey, do you still got that Charger? I was like, no, I got rid of it. Why? He says, well, I'm wanting to get rid of the Challenger. And I said, well, it's long gone. And he goes, well, I'll sell it to you for $5,000. And I was like, dude, it ain't gonna happen. I know what you paid for that thing. I know the story, and the guy who had a perfect rally dash to put back in this thing. And the guy that bought it sold that dash and wanted to sell me the rest of the car for $5,000. And he only paid $1,200 for this car. And the car ended up passing a couple of hands. He was wanting to get into the hemp market, so he sold it. And a guy outside of Nashville had bought it and had it listed for $12,500. And this thing needed to be a full restoration on it. And it was a 318 car. And I contacted the guy about it, and it's like, so what do you want to do with the car? And then of course I asked him, I said, do you have the rally dash for it? He says, no, I didn't get it with the car. So the guy ended up making money off this car. And I was kind of upset because I was supposed to be the first one in line. I was going to pay him cash for it. But you win some, you lose some. Let's see here. Max West said he had to sell his 71 440 4-speed Sugar Hood Dana 410 green RT Challenger body. Laid off and owed support. Oh, I hear you, man. I hear you. Let's see. Danny Boyd said at least it didn't get crushed like the Chrysler with the 440. And Jason, oh, dude, oh my God, that made me so sick. You know, his deal was he got tired of being lowballed on that car. Now, me personally, I mean, I wouldn't have paid as much as he wanted for it, but I wouldn't have hit him as low as some of these guys did. Batteries in the house. What's going on, brother? He says, on a smoke/beer break, still building our 360. Cool deal, man. I can't wait till y'all get that thing back in the car. I tell you what, man, those guys there, between all the motors they had to buy to make a good one, I hope that car tears up the road, brother. But yeah, I think the Junkyard Jet guys this weekend, they're going to be pulling that mock up block out of their car. And I think they're going to do some floor sealing and some stuff like that. So I think hopefully here soon they're going to have their motor down in their car. Jonathan, what's going on, man? He says, I just got my cab on my 80 Power Wagon. I need to finish putting in the black fuel tank strap and coolant, and I should be able to break the engine in. Cool deal, brother. Cool deal. It's always fun, man, when you get that close on the project. You just chomp it out the bits, hear that thing run. Let's see, Mr. Will Diary Garage. Al, please, quick shout out. He's going to be doing a live with Bear Rose and Wild Rose this Thursday at 8:30 Eastern. They will be talking about the car hobby currently, And so that would be pretty good. I always try to catch Will's lies when he does them. Midnight Rods and Racing says, itching to hear Slaghammer run. Me too. She's going to be loud. But when we ordered the rest of our stuff today, we made sure that Summit had everything in stock. So we wouldn't go through like we did with the rims. Let's see. Kendall's Auto and Random Repairs, evening out. How you doing, brother? Midnight Rod and Racing says, louder the better, just like my Harley, brother. But like I said, all our parts, our big parts, should be in by the end of this week. And then Tony's still got to go get the drive shaft cut this week, too. Jonathan says, I forgot how high up my power wagon is. I got the factory 4S lift on it. Oh, dude, my Ram Charger's like that. I about knocked myself out one night trying to get climbing that thing, grabbed the door, went to pull up, forgot to tuck my head in, about knocked my ass out. Let's see. Jimmy Fez says, I wonder if Carlisle will be as good as usual as it usually is. Spring show was off this year. That's one of the few I have never been to yet. I have never been to Carlisle. One of these years I'll make it there. But yeah, let's see. I got Candy, the Astro van, that should be done hopefully by Wednesday. Then looking at possibly putting a crank sensor in on a Jeep. And then set of hubs on a Ford F-150. And then, of course, doing the stuff with Slaghammer. So I say by the time I'm done with all that, I might actually take me a little break and go down to my house in Alabama and chill for a weekend before I got to go on power tour. Danny Boy, four-wheel drive F-150, yes sir. Dizzy Izzy, what's going on, guy? Oh, Mr. will be at no names. I got faith in him. See, Jimmy says power tour seems like an adventure I would like to do sometime. Yeah, this will be my first one, man. It's a 1,500-mile route, and then of course add another 400 miles to that. So I'm almost going to be driving about 2,000 miles altogether with the car. Dizzy Izzy just said he posted 3 new shorts on the car. Let's see. Max Wedge says he has a first cousin in Huntsville. He'd like to go visit someday before he dies. Well, I bought a house in Alabama a little over a year ago, and I couldn't pass it up. I paid cash for the house. It needed a full renovation done on it, so I've been doing all the work myself. Now I had to stop for a little bit after I got sick with COVID, and then I've got my cousin staying up there helping me. So he's been living there, and then he just had back surgery. So probably here after the power tour, I'm gonna go down and do some more work on it. It's about 85% done now, but I like it. It's in a small town, smaller than the one I live in here, and it's kind of like you got to chill. Bad Trees heading back to work. Have a good one, brother. Get that motor together. Yeah, June said, Al, may the good force be with you, brother. I hear you, man. Danny Boy said, Al's a Romex. Man, I hate Romex. Oh, my God. And with I came up on a commercial industrial electrical background, and the two words I hated the most was Romex and residential. But yeah, I wired the house up myself, so I saved a lot of money doing that. But yeah, I did all my own electrical on that house. I completely gutted the house out, reframed it, moved the kitchen, uh, drywall. Done it all. Dan Boy says, I kind of like a good day of fishing. Dude, I haven't been fishing in probably 25 years. Dizzy said he hated the word inspector. Well, the good thing is, this little small town that I got this house in, I didn't have to have an inspection. The only thing I had done was the power company come out, make sure the meter base and everything was to their spec, and they plugged me power to it. All of them random repair just said, just run dollar store extension cords on the wall. Trust me, I'm a random internet guy, right? Henry's Hot Rod Garage said 7 years for here. I don't know. I used to fish all the time. Being from Florida, man, hell, we go out there in the Gulf and do all kind of fishing. And I moved up here. I did some for a little bit. One day I just quit doing it. Danny Boy says, I ain't fished since 1980, but I've fished my walls, right? Danny Boy said he found an extension cord in my wall between wall switch and an old K&T light. I tell you what, man, I've seen some strange things, especially doing service work. Oh yeah, the good old knob and tube wiring. Had that kind of wire in a house I had down in Florida, man. One night my lights quit working, went up in the attic and found out there was mice up in the attic, and they decided to go chomping on that knob and tubing, and nothing there. Between rewiring everything in the attic and getting rid of a shitload of mice, yeah. Mr. Will said he rewired his whole house. They had aluminum wiring. Yeah, that's what they used back in the day. Hell, it was cheaper. And even to this day, your main feed coming in, 99.9% of the time, that's still aluminum. Oh, it is blowing insulation on top of tubing. Oh yeah. Midnight Rod Racing said, "I hope you wired it hot to keep yourself awake." Right? I've been in a hospital twice getting electrocuted, and and doing commercial work and stuff. We used to have what lockout locks. You know, we go in and shut the disconnect down and put a lockout on the lockout tag. And one of the guys that was on my crew decided to unlock the lock, turn disconnect on. I had my arm wrapped around a duct and was working because one of the junction boxes were in a tight spot, and man, it lit me up like a Christmas tree. And then one time I got grounded to an I-beam in Kentucky. That one knocked my heart off beat. The Kindle's auto repair random repairs goes, it's only 110 volt, just a little buzz. Get the punch, he hit 440. And my dad got hit all three phases on 480, man. And it about fried his arm. Doctor told me he probably wouldn't use his arm again, but it took about 8 years for that arm to start working right. But yeah, that three phase is no joke, brother. But I used to love doing that kind of type of work, man. I just got burned out. When I left the electrical field, I was a electrical superintendent running jobs and just got burned out. Leighton Welding, what's going on, man? Midnight Rod and Racing said I got hit by lightning turning a 550 power box off in a storm. Didn't feel good for us. Oh, I hear you, man. You get a nice taste of copper in your mouth. Let's see, 20 by 30 rod wire three phase with a high or double voltage leg before. Yeah, down in Florida, man, they did it a lot. It was three phase with a high leg in them because you had a Y system and a Delta system. Bub said copper in your mouth, saliva, analyzing. Yeah. Let's see. Max West said my dad's friend was working on a belt at a coal plant, and someone took the tag off and turned it on, and he about lost his leg. I tell you what, I mean, there's a reason why we put lockout tags on things. And say the least, that guy got fired. J-Bo, what's going on, man? Let's see. Fred asks, any experience with the 1959 Dodge 326 Hollywood? Nope. But I mean, I used to love doing it, man. I used to make some nice looking panels, man. I took pride on making all my wires look nice and neat, pipe bending. I mean, I used to love that shit. I just got burned out. Mopar man said, he said, now we know why Al keeps going on and on. Yeah, definitely not the Energizer, buddy. That's for damn sure. Henry Hot Rod Garage, he's taking off. Appreciate it, brother. Randy Barris says, I watched Tony's electrolysis vid today. Spot on. I've been doing the same thing for 20 years. Yeah. Yeah, I went there this morning and checked it out because I left yesterday before they got started with that. And it seemed to be doing its job. Let's see, Mr. Willis, the ignition module went out on the charger this weekend. It's mounted on the firewall. Do you think I should mount it somewhere else? It's my second one in 5 years. Sometimes they happen, man. They just go out. I've always kept mine in the same spot. um, I had a cousin of mine that put his actually inside the car. Tim, what's going on, brother? I mean, they just don't make stuff like they used to, Mr. Will. I mean, it's like when we upgraded the Coronet and changed all of it around, we were still having issues for a while with boxes going out. And then finally we got a good one that just stayed working. See, late one, do you know of any good places to get good wiring connectors for wiring a vehicle? I'm going to require my Aspen. Um, Dude, I use all type of different deals, man. I use crimp connectors, I use shrink wrap, I've used soldering the joints. I mean, there's different ways of doing it. Rider the Pale Horse, what's going on, brother? How you doing this evening? Leighton Welding goes, I just don't want to use Walmart Harbor Freight connectors with them. Um, I mean, I get my connectors from like AutoZone and stuff like that. I mean, as long as you crimp them right and got the right tool to do it with and use your shrink wrap around it, you shouldn't have any issues. But like with Slaghammer, I just rewired the whole car. The only part of the original harness I used was the taillight section and the front headlight harness. And after that, man, everything's basically new inside that car. Vince Rancher, what's going on, man? Let's see. He states, Vince Rancher, hi from New Jersey. Not sure if you covered it, but my vote is to leave the rims that are on Slaghammer as is. It's up in the air, dude. I mean, when I saw it yesterday and I put the tires on, I looked at it, and to be honest with you, my mood changed. I mean, because I was used to seeing it with the drag lights on there. I liked the way the wheel sat, and I wrestled with it all day yesterday. Last night, I got up this morning. Tony and I talked about it a little bit more, and unfortunately, the time restraint that I've got before a power tour, and we're just not going to get the right wheels in time. So I'm just going to have to run those and see how it goes. I mean, they might grow on me some more down the road. I'm not sure, but like I told earlier, I am going to get a set of drag lights just for the slicks. So we'll see. And Jim Fed's right on that too, Mr. Will, about the goo pulling away from the side sometimes. And I found that out too on the newer ones, that it's just not like it is back in the day. You know, if you got the goo that's starting to separate, or if it's actually, now with me being in Florida, man, we used to have a hard time about that goo just really melting off and sticking to the firewall and dripping down. Let's see. Leighton Weldon says someone did some cutting underneath the hood. I'm not going back and trying to. I mean, you can probably, and it's not that expensive. Leighton Welding, um, you can get a painless wiring kit for that car if you want to go that route. It's not that expensive. Danny Boy says, like the goop on the Ford Duro Spark. Yeah. Yeah, Leighton Welding. I mean, if you're going to have to rewire the whole car, man, I mean, that would probably be the easiest way. And the good thing about the painless system, the way they got it set up, the wires are marked. You know, so you can go by that versus what you're doing with that car. Let's see. Danny said, actually, talking with Doug, some of the old semi trucks can be wired with all one color. Dude, I tell you what, one of my first semi trucks I had to work on, and they were all the same color wires, which on this one was either all white or all yellow. And man, that was fun. Let's see. Jimmy says, I'm running my 360 with a Mopar distributor and an HEI on scrap aluminum. It's been great, but I know it's frowny faces from some people. It is. You know, I look at it like this, man. It's to each their own what they want to do, whatever works right for whatever you're doing, what people are doing. You know, like Tony's the points guy, and I can go either way. And when we got the Coronet, it was on point system, and man, trying to find a good condenser to go with the points. I mean, we kept going through condensers left and right. We changed points out, and just couldn't find one that was going to stick for a while. So we decided to convert over to electronic just for this so we wouldn't have to worry about it anymore. Buff Sitter asked, same color, do the wires have numbers on them? Some of them did, man. Some of them got like numbers on them. Some of them had like looked like little Morse code / dots on them. But when you're working, and like with me now that I'm getting older, it's hard to see the numbers. But yeah, when you first open up one of their boxes, man, all you see is white wires or yellow wires. It's just like, Tim Hedges said it's like some of the ACs I worked on. Yeah, I mean, same way. I mean, let's see. Dizzy said I used a late 70s Pro Comp distributor and MDSI voltage coil I had in the shed. Well, it's like us with the Cornet. We went to a lean burn distributor, and because we weren't worried about vacuum advance, and did a MSD box A6, and that took care of everything. Max Doss, what's going on, brother? Ethan and I used to have a 67 Corvette. It was his first car when he was 14 years old. Dizzy said that's what I had. Hey, sometimes when you got on hand, if it works, brother. I'm kind of the same way. I got all kind of stuff in my garage, and if I can't get the part that I need, I'll try to find one and make it work. The Kicker Dolls and Auto Repair Ready Repairs says I'm running points on a lid of AMC because I've got 3 or 4 sets of NOS points and condensers and too cheap to buy Pertronics. See, Max Doss says I have a 6.6 Corvette watching Austin with his Poly Talk, right? Dizzy says I've got 4,800 in the car. Hell yeah. Dude says zero cars guy got to do what a car guy's got to do. Jonathan Couchy says a Slant 6 needs 2 pickups for lean burn. An advanced one failed, so my brother put a V8 computer, which only uses the initial, and it worked. Cool deal. Now that's kind of like we're talking about with Ethan's teacher when he was doing tech school for auto mechanics, and he showed up with my Magnum one day, which was originally a 2.7, and I did a 3.5 swap, but I used all the 2.7 stuff to make it run. And he was a Dodge tech, and he says, "It's not supposed to be running." I was like, "Well, it's running." Mopar Man 78. Let's see. He just said check out a company grinder for wire connections, clamps, etc. And so welding. That's a possibility too, man. You can look at them. They got a lot of stuff. Tim Hedges says I always wanted to put a 318 in a Gremlin. Yeah, I had a friend of mine down in Florida that had a Gremlin back in the day. Had a 401 in it with a 3-speed in it. That was a quick little shit box. Dale Campbell said we put a 429 in Gremlin. Holy crap. I bet that was a tight fit. Mr. Wilburn, we got John Wilburn in the house. How's it going, brother? I heard through the grapevine you might be making another weekend trip shortly. No, I hear you, John. He said he'd be down before long. We'll see what happens. We'll have to get together again. Midnight Rod and Racing said we put a 440 in a 72 Gremlin. Harry finally made it in the house. What's going on, brother? Tim Edwards said, wow, I saying the same thing, man. Phew. That's a whole lot of motor with no space. Duxton said, I like the fact that Buff Hills from the old school of hot rodding were making power and speed as king. I hear you, man. I mean, that's what kills me about people today, man. It's all about bolt-on parts and stuff like that, and we call it good. You know, back when I was growing up, my dad taught me when I was young, you know, how you can make horsepower with nothing, just by doing like simple alterations and stuff like that. And I think that's where I get a lot of it from now, is because of him and the fact of not wanting to pay somebody to work on my shit. Today's mechanics really just don't think anymore. They're all just about plugging that laptop in and to the ODB2 port, and it tells him what's wrong with it, and he replaces the part, and next thing you know, it wasn't that part, and he replaces it with another one. And Jimmy said the Gremlin with the 440 is a stab and steer kind of car, right? The wrench, what's up, brother? He says, I'll be putting the rat rod on my scale soon, thinking 2,500 pounds should be fun with 550 horsepower, right? Yeah, that's all they are anymore, Tim. They're parts changers. That's all they are. And that's a good thing. I'm glad that I instilled in my son when he got old enough and finally found an interest in cars that his first car was the Corvette. So he got to start at the bottom of the way things were years ago, where you didn't have a computer to plug in. You actually had to figure out what was going on with the car. Let's see, I already said J-Bo, that short block's looking good. It is looking good, man. Midnight Rod Racing said the 440 was set back 4 inches and had to sit in the back seat, right? Mopar Man 78 said the Roku guys put a Hemi in a gremlin. Yeah. The wrench said the hardest thing to learn as a tech is to find out why a part failed, not just the part that failed. Oh, I hear you, man. You got to figure out what causes the problem to begin with. And I'll give you a prime example. And I figured it out real quick. When Ethan first got his 300 SRT8, it ran great for a while. And then all of a sudden, you can fire it up and it would run for about 45 seconds and shut off and wouldn't start back up. So he goes back in there, disconnects the battery, lets it sit for a bit, plugs it back in, fires up. As long as he took off driving with it, he was fine. But he noticed there was a shift issue going on with the training, that something didn't feel right. And I told him it was going to be one of several things. I said, but most likely it's probably going to be the PCM. And he procrastinated for a long time. He got to the point where he was driving the car to work, and he would sit there and he put like there's like a emergency hatch thing on the trunk lid where you can drop the seats and go underneath. And what he tied a little string up, pulled it through the back seat, and laid it there. So when he got to work, he'd unplug the battery, shut the trunk, whatever else, and then when he left work, put it back in, pulled it out. And then it just got to the point where the car didn't run anymore. And I kept telling him, I said, you need to replace the PCM. And and he went online and looked, and everybody was like, well, it's the TCM that's having the issue, or the ABS is having the issue. And so he finally broke it down and bought a new PCM for it. And it's like a new car. I mean, it shifts great, it runs great, there's no miss at it. And but with these newer cars, man, there's just so much stuff integrates and talks through or is in the PCM or the ECM, which one of the two you want to call it. And it just makes it hard. Danny Boy says, I'm not a parts changer, but I'm a steering wheel holder, right? I was here too about a few weeks ago. Tim said he taught his son on a 68 Mustang or an 88 Mustang. Oh, I hear you. Let's see, Mr. Will. Let's see. Crazy question. Are gasser guys very strict on what they call gasser? Does a gasser have to be very exact in order for it to be called a gasser? It all depends. I mean, you got the old school gasser guys that built what they had. You got a couple organizations. I think one of them was the Southeast Gasser Association. They have to be a certain type of setup up to a certain year car, and they got a whole big old list. I think Tony's got it somewhere. But you know, to me, gasser is a gasser. I mean, back in the day, I mean, it was just a front axle car, you know, up high. You know, you try to put a gnarly motor in it, and you know, and send it, and you know, and kind of the cool factor too. You know, and then with the, I know one thing with the Southeast or gasser rules was it had to be a 4 speed or a stick car unless you were running a supercharger. And when we decided to do Slackhammer, you know, Tony asked if we wanted to do manual or automatic. And my thing is, Slaghammer at the end of the day is probably going to end up being a bracket car. So I wanted to go for the consistency of the automatic. John Wilburn says Sega will not allow any car with a VIN number newer than 1967. You are correct. The Rich said nowadays they have terminals that are pull sensitive on an international. Oh yeah, I mean the body control modules and stuff on the big trucks, man. Danny Boy says someone should build a gasser, then wrap it in Taco Bell over. Oh my God, I would laugh my ass off if somebody did that. Dexter says I miss the good old days when your usual pizza delivery person would swing to the store and pick up your beer on the way, right? Dizzy said he had a big new fridge, stopped working, unplugged it for an hour, reset itself, and working great. You know, and my other half, she wants a new refrigerator. She wants the one that's got the board on it and everything else, and it's like it ain't happening. Now, after I pass away, she can do what she wants. Mopar Man 78 says Danny bored down the side of the gasser to say the gasser with the Taco Bell logo, right? Danny Boy says keep the old fridges back up for sure. I hear you, man. All I want is something that keeps my food cold on one side and my meat and shit frozen on the other. You know, we have an ice dispenser and a water thing on ours. That's about as fancy as I want to get. I don't want a refrigerator talking to me that I'm low on milk. And Daddy Boy says that car has a lot of beans. Oh man, y'all killing me. I've got the wrap in my head right now what that car would look like. The container on random repair said, heck, the old fridge is always used to be used as the new garage beer and Gatorade fridge for wrenching. Oh, I hear you, man. Yeah, Tim says you don't want that. It costs about $500 to raise the board. I tell you what, my other half's mother had a refrigerator that lasted. almost 30 years, and it finally went out on her about 6 months ago. And with the shortage going on and trying to find a refrigerator, she bought this one, and it has two upper compartments that open up left and right, and then down below has a compartment open left and right for the freezer. It doesn't have an ice maker, external ice maker, where in other words you can go in and hit the handle and stuff like that. And it's got a little tray off in the back corner. And I think she paid almost $3,000 for this refrigerator. I about shit a brick. Oh, I hear you, Buff. Bubba Center saying he saw a fridge. That's what I was just talking about. It has a camera on the inside. It's got the screen on the outside. And, it's like the commercials. They see they hit the thing and it says, "Well, you're low on milk. Or you low on?" It's just too much tech for me. Mr. Eric, how you doing this evening, sir? Coming in from Southern California. Oh, we got Tony in the house now. What's going on, brother? Mitch Wells says, "Yeah, I don't need my fridge talking to me." I hear you, man. And what's funny about it is now some of that new stuff, you can actually hook it up to your internet, your Wi-Fi, or whatever else, and it actually scans your refrigerator to let you know that you're low on something and want to know if you would like for them to order the stuff for you. I just no. Next thing you know, the refrigerator is going to be walking around and talking to you and giving you a handshake. The Kindle Auto and Random Repair says, "So, mechanic question. Am I the only one who uses the wife's dishwasher for greasy part cleaner?" Oh, God. I know I haven't done it. Oh, man, you're all killing me with this Taco Bell car, man. Oh, man. Bob Cinder says, "I keep a bathroom scale in front of the fridge. It makes me think before I open it," right? Dizzy said about 1980, he used a copper cooler line off the back of her fridge as a trans cooler. I don't know, stick to auto trans, and a 69 Ford pickup truck worked great. I bet. Cody says, "Al, I'm busy at the moment and went to watch. Just wanted to give you a shout out and thank you for your advice on removing my key century crap. Worked like a charm. Thanks again." You're welcome, brother. But yeah, I think the last time I went on the Power Tour website, I went to register the car the other day, and that's when I found it out I needed the tag number and the insurance policy number on the car. So that's why we went and got tags on it today. But there's like already like almost 4,000 people going to be on this thing, from what I can gather. I think my other half ever caught me cleaning auto parts in the dishwasher. I think she'd take me out back and shoot me. Now, I haven't used my bathtub before. That was years ago for cleaning parts. See, Mr. Will says, I've been seeing a lot of nice 1980 square body short bed trucks for sale. I think a lot of people are restoring them because they're fetching major money. They are, man. They are. Even down here in my neck of the woods, I mean, they're going basically more for more than the later models. Eric, still nothing about Jim, brother. Tim Hedges says, I made a radiator of an AC evaporator coil. Wow. Auto Rain Repair says, Al, I had a short block in the bathtub torn down when the wife was going to travel and nurse out of town. Spent a week scrubbing the tub before she got back, right? Jabo said he had to Google how to work a stove and a washing machine. That's not right. I hear you, man. Matt S says, I got lucky on my 84 D150, finished it right before they started skyrocketing. Oh, I hear you, man. Eric said one time my dad and I soldered shut broken pins on a radiator, just wouldn't leak to get us home. Man, I've done all kinds of things for a radiator to get me home. I've bent the tabs back and crimped them down. I've used pepper. Richwell said, yeah, in the last 18 months, square bodies have like tripled in price. Oh, they have, man. Buck Campbell says, I think most oven cleaners has lye in it, which is what is in the hot tank solution. It could be. I tell you what, though. I mean, I've used the oven cleaner a couple times to clean heads off and stuff, and it actually does a pretty good job. Eric says all the prices have gone through the roof. Yeah. Midnight Rod and Race says you still can't find anything north of the border for short bed Dodges. It's stupid crazy right now, man. I mean, even the old single cab long bed Dodges are going for major money now. See, Eric said I heard AMD's prices are incredible now. Everything's gone up, man. You know, it's like perfect example. Tony and I did a little BS video the other day around the shop. and he went and got me some plumber's tape strap to put the fuel tank down in Slaghammer, and a 71-inch piece of strap. Between that and the bucket he bought, I mean, he paid an ungodly amount for it. What was it? It was like 20 something dollars for that 71-inch piece of strap. I was like, holy shit. Ari said the last time he used oven cleaner, he did better than the gunk, and I swear by gunk. Oh, I hear you. You know, it's like me. I use the purple power, and I'll use it full concentrate on dirty stuff. And most time it'll do its job after a couple of times. But I mean, the oven cleaner on certain things, man, will just do the job like really quick. I know on aluminum stuff though, you don't want it kind of on there as long. You know, it's like when I did those Hemi heads on Barney. Man, I cleaned this thing 3 or 4 times, and I finally said, "The hell with it." I sprayed oven cleaner over the top of it, and it finally got the rest of the stuff out of it. But yeah, of course, Douglas says all gunk is kerosene. Yeah, it about smells like it. Danny Boy just wondering what happened. You put purple power in electronics. It's like, I don't know. Eric's asking what the status is on merchandise and T-shirts. Right now, I'm trying to get a shop set up. I'm getting it set up on Facebook, and I'm still waiting for them to get back. I've got shirts on the way. I think they're supposed to be done. I see. I think they're going to be in print on the 6th. And so I should have them about 3 days afterwards. So I'm actually buying the shirts in advance. And once I get those in, if my shop's not set up yet on Facebook on my Mopar Out ENA garage page, then I'll start hitting you all on the live where you can get them at. Let's see, auto and random repair. Let's see. I convinced my boss to start using the Gojo for hand soap and just buy Dawn dishwashing soap. I mean, Dawn does great. The only thing I liked about, let's see, there was another stuff they used. You get them from one of the uniform companies that come in and do your uniforms and do your carpets and shit, and they have like the stuff for the bathrooms, the hand cleaner and stuff. There was some stuff that had like walnut shells in it. I thought that worked pretty good from getting some stubborn stuff off. But yeah, you can't beat Dawn. Eric says I got to put "not your uncle" on the back of your t-shirt. I hear, dude, that's actually a cool idea, man. I have to think about that for the next round. But down the road, there's going to be all different kind of sayings on the back. I mean, some cool ones and stuff like that. The wrench says very heavy duty degreaser, best degreaser so far. Purple Power is very mild degreaser. It rates about 4 on the degreaser. Victory is about 8, and it's almost as strong as acid wash. Oh wow! But I mean, as far as the Purple Power goes, man. Now, see, I don't buy the ones that are diluted. I buy the full concentrate, and I don't dilute it down when I use it. Buck to Campbell says, rub Dawn into your hands before you work. It will be under the grease. Right? Eric said Jim Bennett's t-shirts had one of those on the back. I hear you, Donnie. I can see it working. I mean, Buff's got a good idea there. Let's see, Mr. Will said, my buddy turned me on to an awesome aluminum polish that turns aluminum into chrome. That's how good it is. I'm going to shine up those center lines I told you about, right? I think some people are asking if it's window polish. Rich, 1500 grit will polish aluminum, right? And brass, the wrench says. Mitch Will says, watch out, 80 stuff is hot. Watch center lines become popular again. I've always liked center lines. Eric Conway says, out here in Southern California, cannot find a good Mopar mechanic to work on all three of my Dodge Challengers. Any recommendations, Eric? You guys out there in Cali, y'all know any good Mopar shops? Zero. That's hard to find a good mechanic that's not going to rip you off, man. Oh, I hear you, Eric. The only option is the dealer, which is big dollar. It is, and I really just don't like going to the dealership, man. Every time I've gone there for something that was either beyond my comprehension that I just could not figure it out, I got stonewalled on. And I mean, you walk in there and hey, can y'all look at this? You know, and right off the bat, I mean, they're wanting to charge you out the yin yang. Yep, like Danny Boy said, a dealership. Exactly what it is. You know, it's like I had a Dodge Durango. It was a what was it, 2004, and the computer went out in it. And I took it to Dodge, and they diagnosed it, which I already knew the computer was bad, and they wanted $1,800 to do the computer and reprogram. And I found one that was the same year, same model, paid $100 for the computer, put it in there because I actually had them push my car outside the gate at the dealership. I said, I'm going to come pick it up. And I got it. I put the computer in it, fired up and ran, took it back to him. I said, now you can download all my options for this car. So I went from $1,800 for having the dealership do it down to $200 because I put my own PCM and just had them reflash it. Zero said for Eric, yeah, Mopar, Dupar, right? But that's just me, man. I mean, just and I love my dog. I mean, I work on other stuff, but I like concentrating on one manufacturer as far as working, because that way you know the ins and out of the vehicle on each vehicle that you're working on. It's like that for Ford guys and Chevy guys too. And like with the LX platform that's out now with the Gen 3 stuff. I mean, I started learning on that and really got hooked on that, and and it's like my neighbor when he bought Barney. The only reason they bought it because they knew I worked on stuff like that. So if anything went wrong, and but it's hard to find good people anymore to work on stuff. It's like we got a guy that lives here in Woodbury, and if some of y'all are really heavy in the Mopar world and history, I'll give you his first name. His first name was Horace, and he was part of the Gen 2 426 Hemi era in the R&D department. And he lives here in the same town I live in. And he used to bring his car up to my buddy's shop, and and he would give me a call. Hey, can you come down here and take a look at his car? But my buddy would do this to me all the time. Anything that had to do with Dodges, he didn't want to touch. And I sit there, and Horace showed up with one of his cars one day, and or Forrest, and was having issues with the carburetor, couldn't get dialed in quite right. And I spent about 5 minutes on it, got dialed in, and the man was happy, and I was happy to know the history that he was involved with back in the day when it came with about with the 426 Heavy. I mean, that man was just like a walking book of knowledge when it came to that. Tim says, "How's Candy going?" Just got the fuel pump in today. It was supposed to have been here Saturday, and it didn't show up. I went and found out what was going on, and it was coming via FedEx, and didn't show up the day until about 2 o'clock. So hopefully I will have Candy done and out of my garage by Wednesday. Danny Boy says hard to find anyone to do anything. Oh, I hear you, man. Just like with the Candy, the Astro van. No one wanted to work on that thing because it was just going to be a pain in the ass. Mr. Will says, Al, when the shortage is over, my wife wants a Jeep Wrangler 4-door. Anything I should watch out for on a Jeep that is 2 to 4 years old? Man, expensive. Excuse me. I can't believe how much the value of the Jeep holds, even the used one. I was looking at the new Jeep truck. I can't remember the name right offhand. It's on my head here, and it was really nice setup with the big tires and everything on it. And we were looking at the prices, and what they were wanting for them was through the roof. So I started looking at the older models. What was it, the Renegade? I think is what it was. And even the used one is still like $45,000. I was like, holy crap. Ari says, man, if you weren't for sleep and part shortage, you'd be your own assembly line, right? Auto Random Repair says, we'll find an older 4-door right before they got rid of the 4.0s. Trust me, we're battling it out with the Jeep right now. White Trash Motorsports. What's up, man? Yeah, the Gladiator. Thanks, Roger. And I like, man, now stock form, the basic model looks like shit. But if you get one that is got the off-road package on it with the big tires and stuff, they look pretty tough. Ez Machines, what's going on, brother? Let's see. Auto Random Parts Repair said we had our 2016 in the shop, new trans, new PTO, new wheel speed sensor. Have to check engine light keeps coming back. What's going on, Ed? Oh, Matt S even said, hell, the damn Toyota Corollas are 30 grand now. Oh, I know. Roger said, sent you an email on Studebaker. Appreciate it, brother. The wrench said, hey, Al, how did you feel about your first live? Nervous wreck, man. I didn't even like really being in front of a camera to begin with. So it takes some time getting used to. I'm still getting used to it. Bill DeCampos said, Studebaker, what's Studebaker? He's got a Lark that he's wanting to get rid of, so he emailed me on it. I might be interested in it. Dougster says, hell, new Goldwing's 30 grand. Dude, I know, man. Bike prices are stupidly priced now. Jesus. Oh, Buff says he's got a 61. Colleen, what's going on? Roger says, Al, going to be knee deep in Studebakers, right? They're a cute little car, man. That's all I can say about it. And I've seen a lot of people build some nasty ass shit with them. Mazda USA, hello, new subscriber. How you doing, brother? See, Colleen out. You can scroll back up to my comment above the Studebaker. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Colleen says, I always Google reviews of vehicles I'm planning on buying so I know what issues to expect. When I bought my minivan, the seller had fixed 6 of the 8 known issues. So I bought it. It's been great. You're so true, Coley. I mean, I actually do that myself a lot. I'll look something up on how many recalls, what was the main issues. I'll go to certain forums and see what's going on with them and see what issues they might have been having with them. But yeah, that's good advice. Zero says, thanks everyone. Great crowd here. It's a nice little crowd. I appreciate everybody. Yeah, Eric's Center saying, hell, the brand new Dodge Challenger SXT with the 3.6 is starting at 30K. I mean, it's ridiculous, man. Dean, what's going on, brother? Buff says, "How you do? Great live. I appreciate it, brother. I try to get better each time I do one." Dean says he's just trucking, just had his rest break. I hear you. Eric said he bought his 2018 Challenger SXT new in 2018, and it was like 25 out the door. Oh, I know. I mean, everything's gone up. Duckster. All right, we're going to start doing some police songs. Dizziest, but those V6. Oh, I know, man. Those 3.6 Pentastar motors, man. You can make some nice horsepower. Um, our local police department had Chargers with the Pentastar motor in them, and instead of doing the Hemis, and their cars were like 320, 325 with his V6s in it. And that's like we were talking about a couple lives back about pickup trucks, man. I mean, the prices for them now. I mean, buddy of mine bought one. Uh, was it a 2021? Had the Cummins and everything in it, and he paid almost $100,000 for that damn truck. Eric asks, "Hey, has UT mentioned what he's going to be doing with the Mazda Miata now?" Dude, it's getting torn apart. And originally, we were supposed to have someone drive it, and never could get anybody to drive the car. And Tony got tired of the car sitting there. I mean, there was nothing wrong with it. The car was done, and so he decided to go ahead and dismantle the car. He's going to pull the 170 out, the 904 out of it. He's going to build it for something, and the rest of the car is going to get parted out. Random Repair says, "Night Owl, wifey just got off work. Time to curl up." I hear you, brother. I hear you. The Wrench says, "Good night, everyone. Thanks, Al, for the live. No problem, brother." Dave always says, "Tony won't sell it." Nope. Colleen, let's see. It's a lot easier to do a live with 50 people than 20K. I caught Vice Grip Garage live, and it was insane. Oh, I bet. Well, it's even like what Tony's live. I mean, he gets anywhere between 250 to 500 something people on his lives, and just as much as the chat scrolls, man. I mean, it's insane. So I can imagine how Vice Grip is when he does a live. I think one of the lives we had, Mr. Will was on with me. I think we had almost, what was it, Will, 70 or 80 people in there at once, and Will was trying to help me keep up with it on his end. See, Danny Boy says, watch Cletus McFarlane live. You can't read his comments. Oh, I bet. Appreciate that, Mr. Williams says, y'all have a great crowd tonight. Awesome. I enjoy it, man. I mean, there's going to be nights that there's going to be a lot of people in. There's going to be some nights that not so many, you know. But I like this. I mean, it's manageable. I still miss some of the chats because I'm reading through, trying to pick out what people are actually having conversations with each other versus general conversations to discuss. So I'm still trying to get used to all that. And a lot of times I like to hear y'all's thoughts too. Jimmy says, I like good bands and smaller venues than pop in a stadium. Oh, I hear you. It's like me when I used to play music all the time. Some of my best times were the small venues. I mean, versus going out and doing outdoor shows and stuff like that. I mean, there's a few venues around in my area that I used to actually love to go to. I mean, the atmosphere was great. It was more one-on-one. Appreciate that, Dizzy Izzy. Danny says, what did you play, Al? Well, I play the drums. As you can see here, I'm using one of my floor toms to hold up some of my stuff. I've been a drummer since I was 12 years old. Eric Conway says, Al, so glad you started your YouTube channel. It came just at the right time since Jim Bennett had left us. Great content and great live. Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, you see that, and you see barely in the corner, I got one of my cymbals hanging up over here. I'm actually in my music room or my rehearsal room. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here tonight. We're approaching the 2 hour, 15-minute mark, and I'm gonna go eat me some dinner. Been a busy day between Slaghammer and stuff here at the house. I got to do it again tomorrow. Danny Boy says I used to play guitar and was kind of good, right? I just love music, man. To me, it's a stress relief. So, but guys, I appreciate everybody coming in tonight. I appreciate Zero, Mr. Will. Everybody's came in. Ed's Machine. I'm sorry, some of y'all came in late. And just remember, I do these on Monday night. Colleen, have a good one too. I do these every Monday night, starting at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. And that, I appreciate everybody. Y'all are great. And I'll see y'all next Monday.